Warning, warning. It's the big one. Hunker down and await further instructions.
Hey guys, I have some tragic news. For tax purposes, Tanhoney has passed away. But don't worry, I know you guys were really excited for this episode, so I actually got a guest here today. Mr. 5000, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey guys, it's me. Mr. 5000. You can't see it, but I'm slicking my hair back with my saliva, which also is 5,000.
5,000 bits of saliva?
I love you 5,000, as they say in
like
Avengers.
He's got that like slicked back hair, but like the slicks that flick up in the back, the ducktails spell out
5,000 individual ducktails. Tiny.
It's a lot of ducktails. So, Mr. 5000, I noticed despite this SCP only being up for, a year, you've got over 2,250 upvotes. It's pretty crazy. That's pretty normal for me, so I don't really blink at that. But I think this page could
I guess to
balance it out.
I guess to a thing like you, that could be quite impressive.
Okay, I'm downvoting it.
Whoa, hold up one sec, broski. Sorry, I had to just down a cold one.
Oh wait, fuck! I forgot to get a cold one. You entertain the audience, Mr. 5000. I'll be right back. All right.
This guy is making me insane. These
forgot my cold one.
This bit was not enough bit of a bit to sustain one person leaving in the middle of it. But whatever. So you've been waiting a long time for SCP-5000. Huh? That's pretty cool. Yeah. You come to this neighborhood often? Oh, you ran out of drink? You want a refill? I can go get you a refill. Yeah, my dad owns this house. So.
Mr. 5000?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Up? No problem, kid.
Oh no.
What's up?
I meant to buy Corona hard seltzers and I bought White Claws. That's
you
why
bought
they
what?
tasted funny.
You wanted to buy what?
See, this is why I hate Corona. I wish they called it something else. I wish they had called it something else, because now you can't really say Corona's like the beer without it being weird.
By the way, I'm about to use Necromancy and bring Tanhoney back from the grave.
Oh, shit! Don't tell him about them. Tell him I paid back the money he owed to his next of kin.
I'm back, but Mr. 5000 had to give his life, so he's dead now.
What? No, you killed our guest?
I subsumed him.
Oh, okay, so he's still, like, a part of you, right?
He lives on as part of me.
Okay, then it works out. Alright, so Tanhoney, you're now the author of 5000. We have to read this terribly written SCP. I'm going to downvote it to start, because I don't think I'm going to like it very much. If that's okay?
You're a funny fucker.
Alright, so I'm going to hit the downvote button now, is that okay?
I'd rather you didn't, but...
Well, I guess if you ask nicely, I guess I won't maliciously downvote you. Smile.
Yeah, by the way, I've got 10 admins listening to this call right now, so you take a foot out of fucking line. The sniper team.
Posted up with snipers, like, cocking the gun. We got a live one. It's like that fucking scene where the villain, like, reveals the spotlights around the darkened room and there's, like, people posted all over the catwalk.
You see little red laser dots. I think you'll find that a down vote will send you down as well.
Down to hell. Alright,
but
well,
anyway,
we've wasted almost...
we're here.
Yeah. So this SCP is probably not going to be very good. I think it's just overhyped.
Yeah, we've done this bit like 5 times now already, but...
Yeah, so how about you just read it and we'll see.
So this is SCP-5000. It's called Y, with a question mark. And it's by...
As in, why was it written?
Hazardous Toast.
Hazardous Toast, huh? That sly bastard.
I actually plagiarized it from him. But that was a joke. That was a joke. But anyway, let's get into it.
Whoever that other
no
guy
one's here for this shit. No one's here for this mess of the first 5 minutes was. Let's get into it.
I love how isn't this like supposed to be one of the longest SCPs like written, and your special containment procedures is like 2 sentences.
I mean, who cares? Item number SCP-5000. Object class Safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-5000 to be kept in a deactivated state within a standard storage unit located at Site-22. All the files and intelligence retrieved from SCP-5000 to be stored on a secure server with backups available upon request from the archival department. Excuse me.
So it's something that's turned off, and you can get files from it, so it's some sort of, like, computery device.
Could be. Are you locking that in?
What?
Are you going to lock that in?
No, how can I lock anything in? It's 2 sentences.
Oh, they're packed
There's
full of
nothing
flavour.
to be gauged.
They're packed with flavour. Description. SCP-5000, a non-functional mechanical suit, identified within its internal schematics as an absolute exclusion harness designed by the SCP Foundation.
I love the word absolute in anything because it makes it more chuny by default.
Although the SCP is believed to have once possessed a number of anomalous functions intended to protect and benefit its occupants, damage inflicted to it in the past means it is currently only capable of basic file storage. For a record of files contained within the SCP upon recovery, cite eArchive 5000-1.
So is this suit like a proper mecha, or is it like one of those weird exoskeleton military things?
It's a proper mecha suit.
Hell yeah! I can't believe SCP has
SCP-5000...
mechas.
Well, it's like, it's not really a mecha, it's not like huge, it's a thing like a guy-sized.
Right.
SCP-5000 first appeared in a flash of light within SCP-579's containment chamber. We haven't read SCP-579, and there's a reason for that. There's not much to read. So basically, that's an SCP that has the entire description is data expunged, and the whole thing is containment procedures.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it's like a mysterious thing. Containment chamber at Site-62C on 12th of the 4th, 2020, containing a corpse, cause of death determined to be blunt force trauma, believed to be inflicted by impact with the ground following a long fall, genetically identical to Foundation employee Pietro Wilson. My guy. Pietro Wilson is currently employed at exclusionary Site-06.
That name sounds a lot like Pietro.
I like that sort of name.
Fair enough. Also, I love that this implies that the Foundation has like a genetic blueprint of every employee, that they were just able to determine that.
What do you think SCP-5000 is for?
Oh yeah, duh. No, I'm the asshole. That's a good point.
They're currently employed at exclusionary Site-06, which is one of a series of installations designed to retain information following reality shifts or other temporal restructuring events.
Hey, this one links to an SCP too. Did we read that one?
No, but that footnote pretty much sums it up for you.
Okay, cool.
So it's basically, if the rest of the world changes, that site stays the same.
I love how, like, the whole purpose was we read all the SCPs that were going to be in here, and so far the first 2 SCPs are ones we did not read.
But those are the ones that are sort of covered in the SCP.
Mm-hmm.
Amnestic therapy has confirmed he has no knowledge of the SCP-5000 or memories concerning the events detailed within its archives. And that's the end of the description.
So it must be like an alternate universe version of him or some shit. Especially because it just appeared, yeah? Maybe it's from, like, the Red Room, because we read the Red Room, or something like that. And not Red Room, what was it called? The Red... You know what I mean.
Red Reality?
Was, like, Red Reality, yeah. I kept calling it Red Room.
The Red Room. Red Room.
Alright.
But yeah.
So we've got some journal entries.
Yeah,
and these were from the suit, right? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Popcorn.
Oh, you want me to go first? Sorry.
Yeah.
Journal entry 001-1. My name is Pietro Wilson. I don't know what's happening. I think I might be the only one left. I want to imagine that, like, the Kiriyoshi Kage is like, doot, 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 playing in the background. The date is 02/01/2020. Sorry, thought transcription is tricky. Sorry, I'm not used to this yet. The date is 02/01/2020. I have just escaped from exclusionary Site-06. So we already know something's up. If it's not another universe, it's from the future, because that date is further ahead. Oh, no, I lied. Never mind.
No,
that's 10 months ago. Sorry. I think... I'm not certain, but I think everyone else is dead. Those guys, they were thorough. If I hadn't gotten to the suit, I'd be... Oh, God. Journal entry 0001-2. I need to get myself together, or this thing isn't going to be legible at all. Most likely, they're going to want some kind of record of this whole incident for posterity. I'm currently on my way to the nearest Foundation installation, a small safe house for agents making their way through this part of the country. Most likely, there won't be anyone there, but I should be able to get into contact with my superiors and find out what exactly is going on. Things started around 6, maybe 7 hours ago. A group identifying themselves as Mobile Task Force Zeta-19, Lonely Only, Insurgent Infiltrators maybe, entered the site. They had proper identification and everything, and gathered everyone into the canteen. Then they started the shooting. Jesus, I can still taste the blood. I can't get that awful metal taste off my tongue. It's a miracle I didn't get hit or trampled on the way people were climbing over each other to get out of there. If I hadn't gotten to the exclusion harness, I'd be dead, no doubt about it. Like I said, they were thorough. I'm a technician for the power grid on ES-06, so I don't fully get how this thing works, but I understand the basics. This perception filter thing doesn't mean people can't see me, but it does mean they can't recognize the fact that they can see me. Which I guess is the same thing when you get down to it. But those infiltrators, they didn't even take anything, didn't even try to. I watched after I got into this thing. I was too scared, fucking coward, to make a run for it. They just checked the bodies and left. An extra bullet for every head. They were just there to kill us. So are the parentheses like his inner thoughts or something, or the machine?
Yes, this is like thought transcription basically. So, like if this thought suddenly pops up, it'll like appear
in the machine. Oh, that's kind of cool, and also very privacy invading. I'm gonna popcorn it to you. I'll give you the two easy ones.
Sure. Journal entry 3. Finally made it to the safe house after hours and hours of trudging through this goddamn desert. Heard a few explosions in the distance. Maybe the Foundation sent an MTF to engage those infiltrators before they got away? Hope so.
Okay, I know it's MTF, but for a second I was like just like lazily glancing through the words, and I thought it said maybe the Foundation sent a motherfucker.
Maybe the Foundation sent an NFT?
An NFT? This'll take care of them.
This will really help the economy. No. Never been happier to see bottled water in my life. The harness sustains your body while you're wearing it, apparently, but my mind still thinks I should be drinking. Human nature, I guess. Anyway, once I get these legs of mine rested, I'm going to try and get these systems online. I need to get in touch with the Foundation and find out what exactly is going on. The journal entry 4. Holy shit.
I hope your throat doesn't hurt too much from reading those last two. I know those were kind of long.
I'll read this next one as well.
Thanks.
Downloaded file -1. Context. They sent this to every government, news organisation, and anomalous agency on the planet. Fuck me. The following is a message composed via consensus of the O5 Council. For those who are not currently aware of our existence, we represent the organisation known as the SCP-5000.
Oh, they broke and masqueraded themselves.
Yeah. Damn. Our previous mission centred around the containment and study of anomalous objects, entities, and other assorted phenomena. This mission was the focus of our organisation for more than 100 years.
Okay, so Young Foundation in this.
Due to circumstances outside of our control, this directive has now changed. Our new mission will be the extermination of the human race. There will be no further communication.
So my first thought when I see this is, so obviously, I'm guessing this is like the big drama of 5000, is that Foundation's trying to kill everyone. But I'm curious, because the first thing my head pops to is the SCP we read, Lily Veselka. I'm wondering if, because it said circumstances outside of our control, so I'm wondering, is it some sort of, not amnestic, what's the word I'm looking for? Some sort of mimetic thing? Is there maybe a higher threat, like an anomaly will destroy the world if the Foundation doesn't kill everyone? I'm curious what would like cause them to do it, but I guess that's why it's called Y, huh?
But yeah, that's your turn again.
Okay. Composed file -1. Immediately following the release of their worldwide announcement, the Foundation began their assault on mankind. The response to the... It sounds like a line out of Attack on Titan. The response to the anomaly...
In the year 1026.
You just see a fucking giant peanut over the wall. Oh no. The response to the anomalies the Foundation let loose was as quick as it could have been, but the damage is being done. It's hard to tell what exactly is going on, but from my position here, accessing the Foundation network and keeping track of the news, I've managed to grasp a little. Is this still Pietro talking?
Yeah, he's sort of semi-trying to be formal here, but he sort of bleeds through every now and then.
I've managed to grasp a little. I'm going to get everything I know down so that when this is over, if anyone's still alive, they'll know what happened to us. Relevant anomaly, SCP-096. Which one is this? I feel like I should recognize it. Images of SCP-096's face circulated on social media platforms. Death toll has already reached the hundreds before the images were taken down. For all I know, that thing is still going. SCP-169. What's that one? Which one was the
giant sea
Leviathan
creature
again?
that sort of makes up a part of the ocean floor.
Oh. A series of nuclear charges are detonated within and along SCP-169's back, causing it to stir in its sleep slightly. The resultant earthquakes and tsunamis devastate a significant number of coastal settlements around the world. Oh, so it's less like tactical takeover and more just straight up like as much damage as possible. Yeah, they're just going for raw DPS. SCP-662, is that the machine thing?
That's Mr. Deeds.
Oh, I love Mr. Deeds! Over the course of 24 hours, an individual whose appearance matches that of Mr. Deeds appears in the vicinity of several major heads of state and assassinates them using whatever tools are immediately available, disappearing just as quickly. I don't know why this stopped after the first day. I thought he didn't like
Assassino!
Assassino! Alright, what was 610? Can you, here, just whenever there's an SCP, I'm just gonna say what, and then I'm gonna expect you to explain it like I'm a caveman. Oh, this is the one we kind of skipped through. Samples of SCP-610 are dispersed by embedded Foundation agents within many major cities, including New York and Delhi. All civilians in the area, along with the agents themselves, are quickly infected and succumb to 610. Further spread of 610 is halted by the combined efforts of the Global Occult Coalition and the Church of the Broken God. And then 682 is the lizard, right?
Yeah.
Simply released. I don't understand why this is happening. Alright, and I'm gonna pog this over to you.
Pogcorn?
Pogcorn?
Downloaded file 2. Context. News footage I managed to download between drinking sessions.
Oh, he's been... does he mean drinking water or like he's drinking down bad?
It's ambiguous, I guess. Begin log.
Is that one of the mysteries?
Why? Why does he drink? Reporter Maria Henderson is speaking from inside a GOC evacuation tent. Scrolling header indicates that she is speaking... Oh, fuck. I missed a word.
What?
She is speaking from the outskirts of Trosa, Sweden. Behind her, patients can be seen being treated by...
Can we pause for a second? Downvote for grammar mistake?
No, I can fix it right now.
Alright, well, downvoted.
Page is locked. I can't edit it. I guess that's permanent. Because I'll forget about it within the next hour.
Tanhoney.
It doesn't matter. You'll forget about it as well. I'll make you. Behind her, patients can be seen being treated by doctors in full protective gear.
Mm-hmm.
Maria herself is wearing a surgical mask pulled up slightly to allow her to speak into the microphone, which kind of defeats the purpose, if you ask me. This was pre-corona, so I was like... I was fucking a prophet here. Maria Henson. Repeating what has already been previously put out by the Global Occult Coalition, residents that have not already evacuated are advised to seal themselves inside their homes as quickly as possible using whatever materials are available. One of the doctors attending a patient stands up with urgency, looking over to a soldier standing over the beds. "We've got expiration! Get the eraser ready!" Maria Henderson quickly becomes moving out of the tent out of the fields filled with similar installations. A loud buzzing sound can be heard from the tent behind her, and several flashing lights can be seen. Thick smoke pours out a gap in the top of the tent. Any individual still in a compromised area advised to keep careful watch over those around them. If any friends or family members begin exuding a noticeable minty smell, they have been quarantined immediately. Feed cuts out. I later found out this is when television stopped everywhere. Internet too. World gone blind in a few
smell.
seconds.
Was that from something we've read?
Well, it might be. We've brushed against it, I believe. But yeah, so basically that's sort of a goo that exudes a minty smell, and we don't know what it does, but it's mentioned that it should never come into contact with dead bodies.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that to me in another one, but I don't think we read it directly. Yeah. Alright, are you podcorning it over to me?
Yeah, sure, pog. There you go, so
Journal entry -5. It's funny, with the supplies in this place, not to mention the exclusion harness, I could probably survive for years right here. But the idea of being sat here with no idea what's going on in the outside world, it's unbearable. Still, I'm not sure whether I really want to know what's happening out there either. When I was a kid, he's monologuing. Real sick all the time, not able to go out that much. I was really into detective stories, Sherlock Holmes and all that shit. I always wanted to figure things out. Anyway, my dad had this row of plant pots on the wall outside the house, and they were always getting knocked over, but he could never figure out what was doing it. I was pretty much at my peak of detective obsession, so I was on the case like nothing else. I was a stupid shit, so I couldn't actually deduce anything, you understand, so I ended up buying this cheap spy camera and recording the wall overnight. It was a stray cat. My dad ended up kicking it to death, like I should have known he would. Jesus, what the fuck? Pietro? Curiosity. Well, you know the... Did you literally have someone kick a cat to death so you could make that pun?
Well, it's not a pun, but...
Or that play on words?
He doesn't make the play on words.
Curiosity, well, you know the saying. What's the saying, Dan?
Yeah, but it's like you're saying I did it to make this play on words, but I didn't actually say it, so...
Everyone involved would have been better off if I'd minded my own business. Except my dad, but fuck him. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I'd rather be doing something than nothing. Besides, if I have the exclusion harness, nothing that would want to hurt me will ever know I'm there. I'm a tourist at the end of the world. Destination, Site-19. Closest to real Foundation installation only makes sense. I'm getting some answers. This harness is interesting because I'm wondering how many SCPs could bypass it. And I'm wondering if that's what eventually led to his death.
We will see, I suppose.
Alright, next we have recorded file 001-1. Context, encounter with Foundation elements a few days after leaving my shelter. Watching weird behavior. Begin log. Viewing a group of Foundation soldiers in a clearing from a distance. 9 in total stood in a line. The 10th soldier, the commander, is silently pacing back and forth in front of them. Uniforms and insignia look like those of MTF Epsilon 6, Village Idiots. Why does that sound familiar?
I think we've mentioned them before in a previous episode.
Are they from the one that you accidentally had me read again that Pepper's Ghost wrote?
I don't think so. I don't remember. I don't remember these fucking MTFs.
Wow, hack writer. After
Well,
a few
who fucking
seconds, the
cares?
commander claps
They're just cannon fodder.
After a few seconds, the commander claps her hands once and steps towards the line. Commander, first soldier in line, performing the check now. Oh, do you want to be soldier 1 and the other soldier 8 as well, I guess? Commander takes out a knife and stabs the soldier in the shoulder. There is no reaction. Commander, removing knife. Get that wound treated. The soldier nods. The commander proceeds to stab each soldier in the line in the same way, with no reaction from any of the victims, until the 8th, who noticeably winces. Ow! Got a live one! The commander and all other soldiers quickly aim their guns and fire upon soldier number 8, killing him. He drops to the ground. The commander then moves to the 9th soldier and stabs him in the shoulder. No visible reaction. Alright, we're clear. Move out. Oh, so are these guys possessed by something? And that was a real human among them? Among us?
Kind of sus.
Do you think, what did they get picked up by? Something mimetic. It has to be. MTF Epsilon 6 packs up their supplies and leaves the area, leaving the corpse of the dead soldier where it is. Sorry. Managed to retrieve weaponry and basic medical supplies from the body. Buried as well as I can afterwards. End log. Closing notes? No fucking clue. Alright, I will popcorn it to you.
Sure. Recorded file -2. Context. Weird transmission I caught on an old radio. Don't know if it's important, but trying to get everything down for posterity. Begin log. Audio only. Voices male, around my age, I'd guess. 7. 5. Can you hear me? There's a hole shining in the holes between your eyelids. I have never been to Versailles before. I want to be loved. 9. I am standing behind you now. 5. I am 2 of us, standing behind you now. The goddess eats the city in the sea. 9. There's a hole in the floor with an answer waiting it. 7. Look, you're hatching. You're hatching. Message continues on loop. End log. Closing notes. Message stopped once I turned the radio over and saw that it was damaged beyond repair. Am I feeling okay?
Oh no, he's got something going on in his brain.
So that was my favourite radio channel.
Disney Radio?
Welcome to the Disney Channel. Journal entry 6. When I thought of Site-19 as being relatively close by, I never really took into account that I was probably with a vehicle in mind. Can't risk cars or anything like that. Even if I went unnoticed, the vehicle wouldn't. All it takes is one Foundation soldier or wandering anomaly to spot it, and I'm as good as dead. But still, marching through the woods, even with the harness's protection, isn't the most pleasant experience. It'd be hard to move out the way if anything came traipsing through, for one. Just because things can't notice me doesn't mean they can't run me down. Gives me time to think
just
about.
like by sheer speed.
Yeah. Like, why the hell am I even going to Site-19? What do I hope to accomplish? If I want to stay out of danger, survive as long as possible, I'd be best suited getting as far away from any Foundation personnel as possible, not jumping right into the Viper's nest. Answers, I guess. More than anything, I want answers. Even if I get kicked to death afterwards. And there's a picture.
See, he put it in the past, and then he brought it back in the same article. That's what we call a callback or a
Shakespeare's gun.
Shakespeare's gun! What's interesting about this SCP so far that I kind of like is it really feels like it's about Pietro's story. By utilizing like archives, like recordings from him, it kind of gets the same thing going on that Red Reality had for it, where we get a lot more of a personal narrative than your average article, which makes it more engaging to me. I'm more interested. Even though I know he died from the description at the beginning, I want him to succeed. Which makes me sad.
And we also have an image in this journal of the forest and the caption. Oh shit, I can put pictures in these things?
Is this the 4000?
No, it's just a forest that is...
Okay, you have to forgive me. People told me there were like 1 million SCPs in this, so I'm just looking for them everywhere. My brain's hardwired.
Yeah. Composed file -2. Reach Site 19. Security's in disrepair. Most of the anomalies let loose a while ago, so it's actually pretty easy to get in. Still stressful moving out the way of the researchers that went about their business. They were still talking like colleagues, discussing how to get maximum human casualties like it was something they'd always been doing.
They're trying to get their KDA up.
But their eyes... It was like something was missing from them, some spark. I couldn't see them as human looking at their eyes. Maybe not even alive. Hard to describe, but it gave me the creeps. Accessing the Foundation database with some still and senior staff credentials, I think I've managed to put together a basic timeline of what happened right before the declaration of war. I don't know what it all means, but I guess it's a start. 16/12/2019, so 16th of December. The O5 marker project called Numa is being of special interest to senior staff. Apparently it was a mass amnestisation project like Kaleidoscope, except mostly focused on the collective human unconscious, the psychospace, whatever you want to call it. Apparently there's some kind of breakthrough in mapping out that psychospace, except I can't see where it was because it's fucking redacted. Typical. 17th of December. A vote is undertaken by the O5 Council with the result being unanimous. Ethics Committee also concurs. Don't know what the votes were about because it's fucking redacted.
Pietro's our guy. He relates to the frustration. Even though he has senior staff credentials, does this imply only O5 has access to this shit?
Must be. 19th of December 2019. A series of instructions, redacted instructions of course, are sent to all senior staff members and site directors. A wave of suicides and resignations.
If it's sent to the senior staff, he is on a senior staff account. Shouldn't he be able to see them?
Yeah, but it's for the specific senior staff members.
It says to all senior staff members.
Yeah, but he's not got like a specific ID. He's just got like, I'm senior staff, let me see.
What? It says he says stolen senior staff credentials.
Yeah, but that's enough to like get in the system. He's not got the specific emails they received.
Oh.
A number of files are sent out to all remaining senior staff members and site directors, with instructions to also disseminate those materials among the staff serving under them. The files are accompanied by the message, "Harden your hearts." All suicides and resignations immediately.
That's not there for me. I see it says are sent to all senior staff members and site directors, and then it jumps to a wave of suicides.
Right, yeah.
I don't see those.
A wave of suicides and resignations go out across the Foundation, with Dr. Charles Gears being one of the employees resigning. Sorry, I skipped ahead a little bit. 22nd there.
Oh, it's all good.
A number of files are sent out to all remaining senior staff members and site directors, with instructions to also disseminate those materials among the staff serving under them. The files were also accompanied by the message, "Harden your hearts." All suicides and resignations immediately cease following dissemination of the materials. And then the 25th, so Christmas Day. Full block on all communications in and out of Foundation sites. Termination of the majority of human and human sympathetic anomalies is performed by the staff at each site over the course of the next week. Information suggests that an assassination team was sent out to Dr. Charles Gears, but it doesn't say whether they were successful or not. And then on the 2nd of January, so start of the new year, Mobile Task Force is dispatched to all exclusionary sites to execute all personnel. Immediately following the conclusion of these missions, the Foundation declares war on humanity.
Oh.
Not quite certain what all this means. Did the O5 Council...
To be honest, they could probably have done way more damage if they never sent out that email.
The O5 Council sends out some kind of mimetic agent to get everyone to go along with them. But that wouldn't explain why the O5 Council would want to wipe out humanity in the first place. I don't get it. I just don't get it. More information on the anomalies the Foundation are actively using too. With the news down, it's hard to get much solid info outside their own records, and even those are still goddamn fucking redacted. I mean, it's the end of the world. What's the point of redacting shit anymore? Who cares? Just tell me what's going on. Fuck it. I'll put it all in a table for posterity or whatever. Popcorn.
Okay. Relevant anomaly 1370. What?
That's a Pesterbot there. He was appeared in 1730.
I remember Pesterbot. Television service temporarily returns. All channels are propaganda speeches from SCP-1370, rambling on and on about how he's going to take over the world or whatever. This one isn't actually that bad. SCP-1048 what?
Build-A-Bear.
What?
The teddy bear.
Oh, I remember the crazy teddy bear. I don't know how the Foundation managed to catch this thing in the first place, but helicopter footage shows hordes of bears created by 1048 rushing through the streets of Paris. The footage isn't too clear, so I'm not sure, but it looks like there's a massive red teddy in the distance as well, walking around next to the skyscrapers. 1290 what?
So that's the teleporters that we covered a little bit ago.
Oh.
Where
SCP-1290-1...
the things continue to move with the curvature of the Earth.
And -2 are moved from their original position and used as rudimentary projectile system to launch projectiles at a secure GOC installation called Ganzir. And there's a little footnote here. A fortress city standing in the Atlantic Ocean designed to house humanity's survivors in the event of an end-of-the-world scenario. Not 100% sure from the files, but it looks like it's just one of a frankly obscene number of anomalies they're using to try and bust in there. If you ask me, they'd be better off just firing missiles, but nobody's asking me because they've all gone nuts! 1440 what?
The old man that we covered twice.
Oh, 1440 is transported from refugee camp to refugee camp by Mobile Task Force New 22 Rocket Men, where its anomalous effects cause rapid devastation to those fleeing communities. Strangely enough, the way these events are described in the files make it sound like 1440 actually has no effect on the Foundation personnel assigned to it. All because they're not humans? Is he only devastating the humans?
Mm.
So are they not humans? What's going on, Tan?
You can say.
Have they you said the light was gone behind their eyes too, which makes me think they've lost their souls.
Yeah.
And that souls are
It's crazy that happened, but why?
Why would they lose their souls?
Why?
They did something really damnable.
Strange. Just like Nancy Drew.
Oh, you mentioned the psychospace. Maybe you had the soul as like some kind of human default, and they removed that default, and they lost their sense of morality and stopped being human. Kind of like those things in the SCP we read that Hippo did. Remember the factory, and they had all their humanity removed, and there was that whole thing with extracting the juice for amnestics or whatever.
You can say.
That's what's making me think of this. Maybe they did that. They removed something from their brain and stopped being human. I'm locking that in. See, I'm 10,000 IQ. You can't fool me, little British writer man. I know your tricks. I know what you're up
little?
to. 1678 what?
You call me little? Like a Discord mod?
What's 1678?
1678 is Un-London. So this is the one Darnell hated and slandered on YouTube.
Yeah.
And spat on the
Foundation
author.
I did not do that. The Foundation intentionally abandons containment of 1678, removing personnel from the immediate area. Once chaos caused by additional anomalies makes evacuation of London impossible, officials from the British Occult Service, colloquially referred to as MI666...
I did make that up. Someone else did that.
Well, that someone else is a clown. Direct citizens to take refuge in SCP-1678 below. Once the city has reached capacity, the Foundation detonates the nuclear device stationed there prior to abandonment. If they really wanted it to be the number of the beast, it would have been MI-23. Going to try investigating some more before getting out of here. See what I can find out. Files deleted. Ooh. Alright, I'll read this next journal entry and then I'll pogcorn it back to you. Journal entry -7.
Wow.
It's been about 3 months since my last... My burps.
You not turn your head away?
My mic is ambient. It picks up everything. I am turning my head away every time. It's about 3 months since my last entry. God knows what I've been doing since then. The time between then and now is a complete blank in my memory, and it looks like the files from that period have been deleted as well. As far as I know, I should be the only one able to do that, so take that as you will. I seem like I've been through a few rough patches. I have a few scars that I don't quite recognize, and I have a bandage wrapped around my temple. The exclusion harness doesn't seem to be damaged, though, so I don't know what hurt me. Did I fall off a cliff or something? The sad part is I can actually see myself doing something like that. Never was the smartest. Site 19 is long gone. Oh, well, it's still there, I assume, but I'm halfway across the country. Couldn't tell you why. It's weird, though. I feel like I have a purpose now, even though I'm not 100% sure what it is. Just where I need to go. There's a briefcase in my hand. I'm having trouble recalling what exactly is inside it. All I know is that it isn't... it's 055, baby! All I know is that it isn't round and that I need to get it to SCP-579. What's going to happen when you put the two non-specific things together?
Oh.
Chaos. Alright, I'll Pogcorn it over to you. So Pietro now has his hero's journey here.
Journal entry 8. I underestimated how long it would take to get to SCP-579. Site-19 was a trek all on its own, but 579 is another story entirely. I wouldn't even know where it was without this documentation, which I have no idea how I obtained, but that's beside the point. I've stopped counting the corpses I've walked past. It's probably in the quadruple digits now. Jesus, maybe higher. Came across the dead body of a kid, a little boy, in a house I was grabbing some supplies from a while back. At first I thought he'd just been shot in the head, but when I went to bury him I could see there were things moving underneath his skin. Little pale worms, hundreds of them, that poured out the second I touched them. They all had his face. They were all laughing, scurried off into the drain. I don't try to bury people anymore. Keeping going is a lot more difficult than you'd think. Files deleted. Composed file free. This thing in the briefcase is a godsend.
What's curious is that something deleting his files makes me think either someone found him before the Foundation did and he teleported in as a corpse, or it makes more based on him saying he doesn't remember stuff and the numbers not being altered. It makes me think someone's tampering with him and maybe putting the skull in his head so he does more damage. Who knows?
The thing in the briefcase is a godsend. Don't know what the hell it is, but if things are getting too much for me, I just need to open it up, and the next thing I know, I'm miles further along from where I just was.
Oh, that's why! He's using it to keep going. And that's why it's deleting files, because it's an anti-memetic, so it's getting rid of the information, right?
Well, not necessarily it's doing it, but during those periods, maybe he's deleting them.
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm miles further along from where I just was, feeling all warm inside like something gave me a pep talk. It's like my own personal skip button for when things are getting rough.
That's kind of based. I would use that all the time. But how do you remember to close it is the problem.
Well, you remember it while you're doing it.
Oh.
Managed to get temporary access to the Foundation database from the corpse of an agent I found half buried in the woods. Wolves were already helping themselves to him, but they obviously didn't mind me taking his laptop. Didn't notice me anyway. The Foundation is still throwing everything they've got at everyone else. I'll put it in the table, might as well.
This guy is tables. Fucking Pietro. They should call him Piet Table.
Haha, Pietro, you are making a table. Relevant anomaly, SCP-5000. Actions taken by the Foundation. The Foundation intentionally triggers the eruption of Yellowstone, obliterating SCP-5000.
Wait a minute, I just realized something.
Yeah.
You cheeky fuck! Each progressive table is a series. This is Series 3, the last one was Series 2, the first one was Series 1. It's kind of like your love letter to the SCP Wiki, in a way.
Exactly, yeah. Because I spent 9 years, man. Over a third of my life.
That's actually pretty cute. I'm going to give you credit for that. That's cute.
Thank you. You should. The Foundation intentionally triggers the eruption of Yellowstone.
Alright, take the credit back.
Obliterating SCP-2000. For now, anomalies deployed by the Manor Charitable Foundation have slowed down the environmental effects at absurd rates, but it's still just a matter of time before we choke on ash.
Wait, why would they slow it down if they want to kill people? Have them all choke on ash.
It's a different organisation. It's a different name.
Oh, SoCal. Right,
SCP-2200. Solberg.
Oh, that's the one you made me read twice almost on Peppers.
Because it's so important. Somehow the Foundation seems to have mass-produced Dash-1, and those swords are making their way into the hands of refugees. With all the victims of Dash-1 are cutting down, Dash-3, the town, is overflowing, with a mountain of living Dash-4 trapped under a mountain of dead Dash-4. So the swords are killing so many people that the area is overflowed with metal guys.
2241 what?
2241. It's Cameron the Crusader, the superhero kid.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah? Okay.
Yeah. One of the few human anomalies that weren't terminated. It appears the SCP has been used as a living weapon to destroy the biggest refugee camps that pop up, forcing survivors to remain in smaller groups.
I don't think he still thinks he's a hero.
Unknown how they're getting it to be that loyal, but I doubt it's pleasant. Last information on the SCP says it's been deployed to assist with the siege at Ganzir. Apparently they're having some trouble.
Alright, what's 2466?
It's the Charizard one.
Oh, yeah, the Destroy California, whatever.
Yeah, that's what it's called. No, it's not. But that's fine. The SCP was constantly being used in order to compel survivors originating from blank California to perform actions both socially destructive and physically hostile. This was apparently effective, but after the 4020th use of the SCP, it crashed and became unusable. Guess there weren't any residents left.
420. And what's 2639?
The Quake Kids.
Oh! I was actually wondering about them this whole time because I was wondering... Because they only wanted to fight humans, but I'm wondering if they're just lying about the humans being monsters.
SCP-2639 were being dispatched to survivor communities and installations for groups that opposed the Foundation in order to kill everyone present. Apparently they were told that they were fighting monsters that had escaped from containment and were destroying the world.
I guess that was that was answered for me.
Clearly they figured out that wasn't the case because they refused to do anything since about the 6th time they were deployed. Good for them. Pog?
Journal entry 001-9. It's nice having company, even if they don't know you... What?
I just say corn when I say pug.
Oh, corn. It's nice having company, even if they don't know you're there. I'm sat around a fire with a group of GOC soldiers who are trying to make their way. Well, I don't think they actually have anywhere to go at this point. Just wandering, maybe. Oh, they can't notice him, though. I thought about revealing myself, trying to ask them to help me get to 579, but I don't want to risk it. Maybe I've just gotten used to not existing. It being a tourist. I'm a ghost. This suit really is a wonder. Managed to access their connection to the GOC database with it while they were making coffee. The news isn't good. This suit, I feel like, would be a nightmare for some people and a blessing for others, depending on how they kind of view the world around them. I feel like some people kind of want that to just, like, stop existing or disappear from public notice, and others, that would be, like, literal hell for them.
Yeah.
Which makes
the zipper breaks.
itself kind of interesting. Then the zipper... Oh, no.
It's not like a mega suit, it's like it's just a little zip at the back.
Yeah, it's got buttons, and the buttons pop off. Downloaded file 0001-3. Context, interview log from an interrogation facility inside Ganzir. As far as I'm aware, this is the first time a captured member of Foundation personnel has spoken during interrogation. Oh, he downloaded this presumably from the GOC.
Yeah.
Interviewer is a Commander Morrison, with a scientist called Dr. Rhodes also being there. The guy being interrogated is a member of Mobile Task Force Omega-2, Secret Keepers. What are they from?
I think I just made those up.
No, I remember that name. Samuel Ross. No video, only audio. Don't know if that's something wrong with the file or just the way it was recorded in the first place. Alright, who do you want to be?
I'll be Ross.
Alright, so does that mean I'm Morrison and Rhodes?
Yeah, Rhodes only has like a couple of lines.
Do you know where you are?
I'm in Ganzir, right? You guys grabbed us while we were trying to sneak in.
That's right. Do you know why you're here?
You're going to interrogate me, I assume.
Doctor. Confirmed. Subject has nothing implanted inside him, no mental agents or cognito hazards either. You're safe to begin. Okay. None of your colleagues we've spoken to have talked. Not a one, not a word. Why are you talking to me now?
We've met before, do you remember?
I'm sorry?
In that joint operation in Tenerife a few years back, with the Seagull Prince. Do you remember? I was wearing a gas mask back then, so you probably don't recognize me, but I recognized you and it gave me a chuckle. That's why I'm talking.
That's the only reason?
Yeah. Yes, smile.
When we caught you, trying to sneak into the city with the refugees, you and your comrades started firing into the crowd at random. Men, women, and children, all murdered for no reason. Don't you think that's crazy? We got the Joker over here. Fucker. That's funny to you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude. It's just I thought that was a little hypocritical.
What?
Well, I mean, you're interrogating me like the information you'll get will help you, but there's no time for you to really do anything the way I see it. No matter how many times you fire Abel at her, Professor Crow's Europa will rip this place open before long. But you're still acting like you can do something about it. Don't you think that's crazy?
Oh, isn't Europa the big space thing?
Europa is something original to SCP-5000, which maybe it isn't really expanded on here, but maybe at a later date.
But Abel, I recognize Abel. I thought that was the thing that was around Jupiter for some reason.
No, that's...
If you've just spoken up to talk... I know, but there was an SCP that was like a machine on Jupiter causing the red storm.
That didn't have a name, though.
Sorry, part of this is, like I said, me trying to find all these connections. If you've just spoken up to talk nonsense, we can always try enhanced interrogation. I don't want to, but I'll do it.
Do what you want. Once you realize you're not supposed to feel pain, there's nothing to be afraid of anymore.
Oh, they fucking removed something from their brains. What do you mean by that?
No, you wouldn't want me to say.
I very much do.
I'm not talking to you.
That doesn't make any sense. Tell me now.
You're sure?
We're still good on inoculations? Cleared on all the Foundation kill agents, yes. Then spit it out, Ross! Stop stalling or we'll have to get unpleasant!
Fine.
I didn't catch that. You'll have to speak up. That microphone only has so much gain.
Information excised.
Oh, Commander Morrison and Dr. Rhodes can be heard screaming loudly. Wet cracks and sounds of rushing wind are also audible. The screaming, which grows higher pitched over time, continues for the remainder of the recording.
Look what you've done to yourselves. I told you wouldn't like it, didn't you? That's why you hear your voice. But you wanted to know so badly. I really liked you guys, so I was trying to be nice. We're so kind to you, you know? We fight in the light so you can die in the dark. Disgusting.
What?
Block.
What did you do?
He said something and someone didn't like it.
He used his ninjutsu. So that's not a reference to anything specific?
Well, there is a reference to something specific in the last couple of lines there.
Oh. 6'8", is he 6'8" too?
Well, no. He's not in disguise. But there's a connection.
Maybe 6'8" is implied to also be missing that humanity.
Oh.
So sad. Closing notes. Apparently right after this, some kind of emergency arose inside Ganzier, and the city ended up being destroyed from both the inside and outside. Files don't mention the specifics, but the GOC may be done. Alright, I'm gonna pog.
No worries. Corn. Journal entry 10. It's getting hard to keep going. When the GOC were keeping up the fight, there was this sense that things could still be turned around. With them on the run now, it's easy to feel there's no point to all this. With Ganzier taken care of, the Foundation has turned their full attention back to everyone else. I don't eat or drink anymore. The harness takes care of all that anyway, and there's too much of a risk that anything I can see will be contaminated by the awful...
How does he piss and shit?
Doesn't have to. The suit takes care of it.
Gross.
The harness takes care of all that anyway, and there's too much of a risk that anything I consume will be contaminated by one of the awful viruses the Foundation is trying to spread. I've seen corpses in pretty much every state imaginable by this point, some of them walking around even. Every time I open the briefcase to skip, I make a little less progress, feel a little worse. Whatever was helping me before, it's like I've grown numb to it. It won't be the only thing. Why am I even going to 579? Do I actually have a reason? Compose file 4. Foundation's still fucking us. Here's a table about it. Relevant anomaly. SCP-5078. Apparently the Church of the Broken God managed to get the internet back up. So that was the meme that makes you laugh.
They found it again?
Well, it was never lost, but...
I thought it was neutralized.
Well, yeah, because they took it down, but... Apparently the Church of the Broken God managed to get the internet back up and running in some areas. Only the Foundation fucked that pretty quick by uploading thousands of copies of 3078 through pretty much every medium available. So the internet went back down. SCP-3179. So that's the... this is one of mine, actually. That's the metal thing that thinks it's methane.
Oh.
Thing was freed from containment after the Church of the Broken God started trying to rebuild things. Sparked a civil war inside the church over whether this thing is methane or not, which really put a damper on their ability to help out. Plus it's making as many fucking Terminator things as it can, so that's fun. SCP-3199, the Chicken Men.
I don't think... I was going to say when I saw eggs, I was like, this has to be the Chicken Men.
SCP-3199 eggs are now being dropped pretty much wherever. I'm sure you can imagine how that's going.
The eggs are like nigh indestructible too, aren't they?
Yeah. might write more later. Pog.
Corn. Journal entry 11. I've been making my way towards 579. Maybe a little slower than before, but who can blame me for lack of motivation? Been seeing some strange things lately. Stranger than usual, I mean. First are the blinkers. There's been quite a few of those around lately. Now I'm pretty sure these were created by the Foundation, even if I don't know how. I don't know most things, so just add this to the list. They're statues of soldiers, MTF uniforms with empty sockets for eyes. Their arms are carved into blades, like what you'd see on a praying mantis or something. They're harmless as long as you look at them. But the second you look away, they can move, and they're fast. Oh no, it's 173s. Saw one cut through an entire crowd of people when a gust of smoke blocked it from view for just a second. I'm wary of them. Me looking at them stops them too, so even if they don't perceive where I am, they're going to deduce that I'm there. I might just start slicing everything in sight, and then that's the end of me. I need to do my best to avoid them completely. The second thing I saw is... well, it's a lot weirder. It was on the horizon, like a person stretched out. No, that's not the best way to describe it. It was like the space around them was stretched out, and they were being stretched along with it, like some kind of bad Photoshop effect. Their body went from the ground up to the clouds, and their jaw swung at right angles. There were these gaps as well, black gaps in space around its body, like wings. It just floated forwards like that. Is that a reference to something?
No.
There were Foundation guys there too, but they were fighting it, shooting it with guns and rockets. How fucked up is it that I'm thinking the Foundation fighting an anomaly is weird? Maybe they were like me, managed to get out of it when this all kicked off. Thought about talking to them, but I decided not to. Can't risk it. Got out of there. I need to get to 579. I need to do something, anything. Journal entry -12. Saw a kid die today. Could have helped her. Didn't. I'm a piece of shit. Okay. And then we have two little SCPs here. I can handle this because they're a little tiny. What's this first one?
SCP-5290, so that's the child hungers.
Oh, is that the one that was dead?
Yeah.
Through use of a sample of SCP-008, enhanced by SCP-914, the Foundation reanimates the corpse of SCP-4290 and lets it loose. Kaiju mancers from the Serpent's Hand engage, but the file isn't clear on what the results are. Heard the library detached from this universe, but it looks like these guys stayed behind. Idiots. And then I know 666, that's the Yule Man. Foundation uses temporal anomalies to make it so it's technically Christmas everywhere. Oh, fuck it. Nobody's ever going to read this anyway. Are we close to the end? Do you think we can do this in one go?
Yeah, I think we probably can do this in one go, and then I have more stuff for next episode, like part 2.
A part 2 of 5000 without more 5000?
Don't worry, there are other materials.
Alright,
Recorded file -3. Well, which this is a conversation, so you're going to be back in a minute.
Oh.
Viewers of the interior of an abandoned...
Sorry, do you want to be Pietro or the girl?
Up to you.
I'll be Pietro.
Sure. Viewers of the interior of an abandoned jewellery store from the front door. The night sky can be seen through a broken window. A girl is sitting on a makeshift fire in the middle of the store. Her ruby amulet is hanging around her neck.
Is that Dr. Clef?
Bright.
Right, my bad.
Perception filter is disabled. The girl jumps back, alert, picking up a rusty pipe as a weapon, just like Nia! Wow. Who are you?
I recognized you. The necklace, I mean.
Pause. The girl groans, dropping the pipe. Ah, shit. They sent you to kill me? You're gonna be here a while.
No, I got away too. Did you get away too?
Girl leans forward, squinting to see Pietro's face. Jesus, you look like shit, pal. When was the last time you slept?
The suit, you don't need to sleep with it on.
You do need to sleep. Your face is just... seriously a disaster, man. You hate to see it. Pause.
Can I come in?
The girl steps back, gesturing theatrically at the store with one arm. But of course, there's enough broken glass for everyone. Pietro staggers in and sits down on the floor. The sound of crunching glass can be heard. I was joking, you could have grabbed a chair.
It's fine, the suit's sturdy.
Yeah, suit yourself. She sits down opposite. That's a fancy piece of kit you got there, gestures to necklace. You want to trade?
No way, I've read the file.
Worth a shot. Been a while since you laughed, huh?
Not been much to laugh at.
Not even when Pesterbot showed up on all the TVs?
I love how you had to write that your own SCP was hilarious. That's kind of pog to me. Okay, that was kind of funny.
I didn't write Pesterbot.
Oh, I thought you did. Never mind, I take it back. I knew you couldn't have written something so good.
This guy. He's gonna die. So, you got away too. I mean, I'm assuming you're a Foundation guy, not one of the many people I pissed off in my lifetime here for revenge.
Aren't those the same thing?
Now you're getting it.
Yeah, I'm Foundation. Was Foundation, I mean. Got lucky when this all started. Got into the suit and escaped. You?
Well, I was senior staff. We would have been told about the plan before anyone else, but damn if I can't remember what it was. Probably because of the second file.
The second file? You saw it? What was it?
Whoa, cool your jets, kid. We've got all the time in the world. They were just a bunch of images, eggs, trees, religious stuff. Didn't mean anything to me by themselves, but I'm guessing they had something encoded in them. Didn't take it like they should have. Tapped the necklace, probably because of this thing.
So it was a mimetic agent. I called it, baby! I called it! Woo-hoo.
Girl frowns. I don't know about that. Oops. Sorry, Darnell. And now, we're going to ask about
Oh no, I should have read like 2 sentences ahead.
I pretty much had everything that can happen to me, happen to me. I know what a mimetic agent feels like. It didn't feel like that. More like I was
I'm
being
still going
released...
for the whole they removed a part of their brain thing and they're no longer human.
More like I was being released from something than something being forced on me.
Oh, the human limits, inhibitions. Soul.
As you.
I see. So you don't really know what's going on either.
Nope.
Fuck!
Pause. The girl removes a small bottle of beer from her pocket and takes a swig.
How did she put a bottle of beer in her pocket?
Anomalous jacket. It's SCP-7294.
Maybe a can would be better?
No, it's SCP-7294. It's a bottle that appears in your pocket.
Is that real?
Yeah, I'll write it when Series 7 comes out.
You mean Series 8?
Yeah. So, you heading somewhere or just wandering around feeling sorry for yourself?
I'm heading to 579.
If you're suicidal, there are easy ways to go about it, believe me.
You know what it is?
Not a clue, which is concerning, because I'm kind of a big deal.
Sorry, doesn't matter. I have to get there. I lost my place for a second.
Why?
I just do. Where are you headed?
1437, which is the hole that goes
Is
through
that
the
your... Yeah, that's your hole.
I'm going to see if I can't piss into another universe. Then throw this amulet down there and see where I wake up.
Sounds like a plan. Good luck to you.
I'd wish you good luck too, but we both know you're not getting it. Day's about to break. I'm heading off.
Okay.
The girl stands up and moves to the front door. She lingers at the entrance of the store for a moment. Hope you find what you're looking for, at least. She leaves.
2. Alright.
Pog.
It's still you. You motherfucker! You can't pog! How dare you pog a script after I read all the things before the script? No, you're reading these.
Damn. Rejected. Journal entry 13. Hi, Journal. It's been a while. Right now I'm looking at Site 62C where 579 is supposed to be. There are no guards as far as I can see and all the security is down. Looks like the place has been abandoned for a while, but... I was under the impression this place was extremely high priority, but it looks like the Foundation doesn't agree with me anymore. I have the briefcase in my hands. It's difficult to breathe. I feel everything will end soon, one way or another. I'm heading in. Journal entry 14. Hi again, Journal. I know I ended the last entry so dramatically, and it's been about 30 seconds since then, but I have an important update. The second I got close to Site 62C, I got a feeling like someone was pressing a gun against the back of my head. Like I was standing on the edge of a roof and someone's hands were on my back ready to push me. Some fight or flight shit dialed up as far as it would go. I don't know what 579 is, but I know it's looking at me. Pog.
Born. Recorded file -4. Context? Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit! Begin log. View is the inside of a hallway within Site 62C. Severe damage is visible on the walls, appearing as it was done via usage of a large knife. The lights overhead flicker. Fuck! The lights flicker again. When they come back on, a statue of a soldier with blades for arms is visible beneath them. It has empty sockets where its eyes should be, and its face is locked in a snarling expression. End log. Was wrong. They're here! -15. Was right! Even if they can't notice me, they figured out I'm here. Slashing everything in sight. Gouged one of my legs. Hurts like shit, but need to keep moving. They're not chasing me, but they're headed to the same place. Need to get there first. Need to keep watching them. Journal entry -16. Made it! Made it! Made it! Made it! I made it! I made it! Made it! I made it! Journal entry -17. That's not fair. But I made it! That's not fair! They're stuck behind the door. I can hear them slashing at it, but it's reinforced and will hold for a little while. A couple of minutes at least. I'm in an observation chamber full of instruments for monitoring 579. The actual containment chamber is right below me. I can just barely see it if I strain my eyes a little. There's a hole. There's a hole in the floor that leads right down there. I know where 579 is. Even if the instruments weren't here, I can feel it. You can't be near it without feeling it, probably. For a second, I thought I could just drop the briefcase into the hole and be done with it, but that would be too easy, wouldn't it? After walking halfway across the world, I guess I haven't earned the right for something to be easy. From the angle of the hole and where 579 is, the briefcase wouldn't even come close to touching it. The only way it's making contact is if I were to jump in the hole and throw it on my way down. But that height, throwing the briefcase would be the last thing I'd do. Of course, a fucking course. It's taken me my whole life to realize, but I'm not the kind of person that can be a detective. I'm just a murder victim. I die for someone else's story, and the human race is going with me. I know who done it, how done it, but those were obvious. Everyone knows those. Those were handed to me. I don't know why. In the end, I couldn't figure out even a single thing. Why is this happening? Why is the Foundation killing everybody? Why is this happening? Why did they send out those files? Why is this happening? Why did Ganzir fall? Why is this happening? Why am I taking this briefcase across the world? Why is this happening? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Why am I going to die? Is there a reason? If anyone is ever reading this, please figure it out. Explain it to me. Someone. Anyone. I don't get it. I don't get it. They're about to get in. First foot forward. And then there's a black image. And then there's -18.
There's a caption as well, yeah.
So that's how it is. Life signs lost. Is there any secrets to this image?
Well, there might be, but we will not get to the secrets this episode.
Boo! Tell me how to open the image.
Tell me the comments.
You fucking bastard. So I'm guessing next episode is going through all the secrets?
Yeah.
You fucking
What did we think on this on the initial reading?
Alright. So on initial reading, I hate that I have to do this, but I'm going to go back up and give you an upvote. Alright, well now I'm down. No, I'm kidding. I thought it was pretty good.
Take a shot.
No, I didn't. I said I'm kidding. I didn't download it.
You have malice.
I thought this was pretty good. I thought there was a really solid narrative. Like I said, I really love that this was told through recorded logs so we could get that narrative kind of like with Red Reality. It's really attractive to me. I got attached to the character. And I think you can tell as a writer you've done a good job telling a story when you've established from the beginning that the character is going to die and you still get invested. The same thing kind of happened with the IKEA one. Like, you get invested in the character even though you know from the beginning he's fucking dead when they find his body. And I really wanted Pietro to succeed, and like that anguish at the end and that's how it is just so heart-wrenching that I can truly, I'm not just trying to wrap this up to be like a video essay, oh look I put the title in, but it really does, like the title implies, make you ask why. Like, why did he have to go through this? Why did this all happen? And I'm still convinced it has something to do with removing a part of their brain with the whole psychospace thing and the implications going on and the light behind the eyes, but I'm still wondering what all caused this and if what he did even did anything. We don't even know if it did anything. He says so that's how it is, but it doesn't really imply a positive or negative emotion, just like a oh. And I'm wondering if his like sacrifice even meant anything or not, why it all happened. Like I'm really invested, and I can see why this one won and why it was so well liked. And I know you're gonna let it get to your head and get all Tan-Honey Mimi, but I just want to say I really do think you did a great job with this, and it's not overplayed. I expected it to be with how much people wouldn't shut the fuck up about it, but the attention's well deserved. That being said, you did make a mistake if you go back up. Where you forgot to put from when the character was talking about something, or was it the doctor lady?
I will endeavour to do my best to fix that.
Maria Henderson is speaking from inside a GOC tent, speaking the outskirts of Troza. Yeah, so I can't give it a perfect score, but I will give this a 12 out of 10. If only you hadn't fucked that up, you might have gotten the elusive 13, but you fucked it. That was really good, though, for real. Good job, Tan.
Thank you.
Alright, so we got some comments to read, you said.
Yeah, let's read the comments. I meant we had that big part at the end of one, so let's not spoil 5,000 for him, guys. So we'll do this complicated thing that I've already forgotten about by the time we're recording this one. But we read the whole thing this episode anyways. Let's just read the comments like normal people.
Oh, so do you want me to read them?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, cool. Yeah, I think part of it is I didn't interrupt nearly as much as I usually did, and that's because you can tell I get really... I mean, this isn't always the case. Sometimes I get really into an SCP and still crack a lot of jokes, but generally when I get really invested in an SCP, I shut the fuck up and listen. which is kind of what happened, which is how I think we got through it. If I had interrupted with my usual rate, I think it would have been a 2-episoder. But I was just so into it. It was good. This was a good SCP. All right. So, do you want to read all the comments, or do you want me to just pick out like highlights? Because there's 30
Let's
comments.
see which of our viewers you love most. Let's find out.
Okay. David Holland says, "Wow, Tan, can't believe you saved 5,000 for an episode that wasn't 69." And then that loving joke was made awkward when he replied, "Despicable," like true hostility.
Came back to it. The emotions were still raw.
All right. From Graphically, we have 5,000 hype. You better not be tricking us. For Tanhoney, how do you go about writing reality messing up / breaking down, people losing it / going crazy, and / or nonsensical concepts? You gotta have a lot less slashes in your sentence, buddy.
I just
how about
write
just common
when I'm sleep
delineated
deprived.
list? Got him.
That's how you do
for
it.
Darnell,
Don't do that. Don't actually do that. That's bad advice.
For Darnell, after 66 episodes plus streams of SCP, do you have any ideas for an SCP? Regardless if you'd end up writing it or not. I do, actually. I think I've talked about it on the podcast. I've at least brought it up to Tan and some friends. I don't think I'd ever write it. I don't know. But I was, a while back, a couple months ago, I was listening to Longmont Potion Castle, which is like this really obscure, bizarre guy who like does phone calls, but he does them in a surreal way. And I don't mean like surreal like jokes. He has like sound effects, like special shit he does that makes them like really weird, and they feel like anomalies in and of themselves. And he's got like whole albums of it. You can find them on YouTube. You can dig up a couple on Spotify. But it kind of gave me an idea for like an anomalous prank caller, like an entity that doesn't kill people. It's not going to end the world. It's not scary, but it like fucks with reality and like fucks with people to get its pranks off, and then it just leaves. And like the Foundation will keep trying to call the number and find the number, but it keeps changing it like a fucking Skype prank caller. I think that'd be really cute. So they can't contain it because he keeps changing his number. And I just love this image I had of like this guy, this researcher frantically on the phone trying to trace the number while he's like giving him the dumbest prank ever. Like, oh, is your refrigerator running? He's like trying to fucking hack into the mainframe. I don't know. I thought that'd be fun. Let's see. Candy Queen says, "I'm back for 5,000. Well, I hope you stay around. A guy with characters I can't read says, "I have finally caught up to the latest episode. My mission is now complete. For now."
Those characters read today. That's me.
"It seems I have arrived at the perfect moment." Dino Tail says, "First, can't wait for SCP-5000. Finally, after all this time, the series finale..." I assume he meant finale. He said the series finally. Second, I can't wait for Darnell's reaction when he finds out that 4710 is actually in 5000. And no, this is not a joke.
Which one's 4710?
I don't think that one was in there.
Let me find out what this guy's talking about.
I think it's the Sheen Estevez head based on the content of last episode.
It's not. What are you talking about? You haven't read 5000, have you? I'll kill you for this.
A bush from the island of Borneo says, "After you two read 5000, will you take suggestions for SCPs, or will you stop reading SCPs?"
So
we've answered this
in the past.
Yeah, we've mentioned this in the past, but I'm going to make a final definitive statement, and if anyone else asks, not that I think they would after 5000 ends, they will die. But our idea originally was after 5000's over, we're going to focus more on taking requests and reading new ones. But now that 6000's about to end, I don't know if Tanhoney's going to want me to explore Series 6 and then get to 6000 now, or if we're still going to go that way. I'm going to leave that fully up to him. But now that the main goal is done, we can focus more on exploring like ones people want us to read or just Tan's personal favorites instead of ones that lead up to 5000. Also, interestingly enough, viewers hyped up so much how many SCPs you cross-referenced. You didn't really cross-reference that many. Like, I expected it to be like over 100 based on how hyped it was and how long the series was. But you referenced like 20, which I guess would still probably be the upper end compared to a lot of other SCPs. But I was like, I wasn't disappointed. I want to say that. I'm glad you didn't bog it down, but I was just surprised because I was expecting like... You saw me keep guessing, right? I was expecting like an onslaught of references, but it really was largely its own thing, and the references were more like a love letter than a big part of it. But yeah, the way everyone fucking talked about it, I was like... Yeah. But yeah, Tanoni, I don't know. Do you have a direction you want to take that in? Do you want to leave that up to interpretation?
as I've said, we'll keep going. We'll just keep going.
All right, but like, are we gonna go through to 6,000 now, or are we gonna focus more on the new
Through
ones
to 6,000.
recommended? It never
The
ends
goalposts
because
have moved.
the thousands keep coming faster because the wiki's growing exponentially. So, in this rate, we're never.
We will never reach the present. You will never reach the truth.
Comedy Man Kelps says, I could beat SCP-4666 in a fist fight. I bet that crusty old man has zero hand-eye coordination. Edit, holy shit, I am beyond pumped for next week.
This is this week. You're in the past, you little man.
Silly! I have a question, by the way. So, you mentioned next episode's secrets. Is there enough to warrant a full episode, or will it be like Secrets Plus and SCP?
Depends. It'd probably be Secrets Plus and SCP, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Gotcha. Brandon Hamilton says, no joke, probably the best episode yet.
Let's see if that stays the same after this one. I hope it doesn't, because that means this one's bad. But let's get into it. No, the episode's nearly over.
Quaker Buttonnose asks, Tanhoney, what number did you want for 5,000 if it didn't win?
I think one of them were one of them was 5682. One of them was 5173. One was I don't remember the rest. That's it.
All right. Insert
Those
clever
were sort of
name here
relevant
says, can't wait for you two to read SCP-5000 next episode. Question for Darnell: do your weed-smoking girlfriends smoke weed? No, because they don't exist. I'm sorry, I lied. I can't lie to you
Yes, they
guys
smoke
anymore.
weed.
YouTuber apology. I mean, yes. Question for Tanhoney: why isn't Bobble in SCP-5000? This is an inexcusable sin.
You mean you didn't notice him?
Amateurs. Alright, and
I
then...
have to be honest, Bobble is not in SCP-5000, but I was so tempted to say that and just let it settle. And everyone starts speculating on who's secretly Bobble.
He's what's in the image. I have to be honest with you, and I swear this wasn't something I looked into, but I only knew that image had something up with it because someone spoiled it really early on in the podcast. Someone mentioned haphazardly that there was an image that you needed to do something to see it, but I wasn't sure what. So that's why I was like, hey, is this image something? So, blame the viewers. I'm surprised for how long it took and how much the viewers talked. I did remain mostly unspoiled. All I knew was it had to do with a guy named Pietro. It had to do with, like, a lot of SCPs, and I knew there were, like, secrets in it. And it had to do with, like, vaguely the Foundation being evil, but I didn't even know it was, like, all about exterminating humanity. I thought it was just, like, they became evil. So, I'm surprised how much I was able to be unspoiled for how frickin' long it took us. I hope you're not disappointed with me, though, for knowing about the picture secret. AnAnomalousWriter says... Go ahead.
Who do you think told you about it? When you walked on the beach alone, I carried you.
An AnAnomalousWriter says, I can't believe a giant head broke the veil. P.S. At last, we are almost at my fave article. Oh, 5,000's his favorite.
Loyalty. That's what I want from all of you.
This is why we pay Anomalous the big bucks, fictionally. I'm so sorry, Anomalous. One day we'll have to make up for our sins. We don't make any money on this channel yet.
I don't care.
Anomalous deserves all the money in the world. He's so good to us. A Mori fan. He edits. He's been here since like almost day one. Avsbest says that intro. Looking forward to next week's smile. And then finally, Land says, "Oh shit, the Yule Man this episode. Darnell's in for a ride."
That's one thing to call out.
Yeah. Alright, I didn't read all the comments. Sorry, guys. Just know every single comment's appreciated.
He only reads the ones that he likes the people. So take that.
No, that's not true! There were a lot, and I was trying to schmooze through these. But just know that I will read them all probably soon after we're done recording, but we're already well over an hour. Is there any final parting words you want to say to the audience before I give my cheesy thank you? Or would you like to do the cheesy thank you?
It's for nearly a year now. The mission of discovering SCP has been to read SCP files and commentate over them. Due to circumstances outside of our control, that directive has now changed. Our new mission will be the extermination of the YouTube comment section.
No!
There
You
will
can't
be no
mean
further
that!
communication.
No! Does that mean we're not doing comment readings? Please tell me this is a joke.
Please say psych.
Please say psych right now.
No, I'm kidding. That was a little gag. Because if you remember, at the start of SCP-5000, they say something kind of like that. So there's a little...
Yeah, I do remember. I actually prepared a speech for this because I was so excited.
Oh, fuck.
Right? All right,
you think
guys,
I don't know what you're going to fucking do?
So here's my 5K entry. Why?
Fuck's sake.
I've been here for around 9 years. More than a third of my life. Oh, hey, it's in parentheses, just like Pietro when he thinks. That was you thinking when you wrote this. Or so now, on and off. And figured it was time I actually get around entering one of these things.
And then I don't enter 6,000.
This is kind of a tribute to the stuff yeah, imagine if you this would have a lot less impact if you wrote the same comment for 6K. This is kind of a tribute to the stuff I love about this universe we've built together. So make no mistake, it's a little self-indulgent and maybe a little much. I'm just imagining you like tucking your shoulders and putting your hands together and like bashfully kicking the ground. But I hope you'll forgive me just this once. Like everything I've done as part of this community, I've enjoyed writing it, and I hope you enjoy reading it.
Why are you reading it in that voice?
5579, 5055, 5682, 5670, 5123. 1,000 thank yous to Lord Stonefish, Nico, Dr. Akimoto, Malice AF, G0765, The Blue Hour, Al Marduk, Westrin, Alan Darris, Brewsterian 1017, Villas Kane, Izmir, and Sturb. Please don't sue Tanhoney! Image credits. https://4/7847-8942955FA-7847-B775-C7987EFFDD60
This is what you think's content
Redwood
is.
Forest by Resendi is licensed under CC by 2.0.
Are you done?
Yeah. That was my speech I prepared. I hope you guys liked it. I wrote it myself. Unplagiarized.
But thank you for listening so far, everyone. I hope you continue to stick with us past this episode, and we're not going to stop. So you better not stop around that instantly.
Yeah. And now that 5,000's over, the question is,
now we can get back to our true passion, the holders.
The question is, what are we going to do for episode 100? I'm thinking we should delete Tanhoney's author page as a practical joke.
On who?
On you. On the whole wiki.
Well, that joke didn't go down well last time, but...
No, it'll go perfect. We'll get all the viewers to downvote your author article until it's vote down for deletion. Simple.
Oh, I see. If any of you dare do that, you're fucking meat.
You'll fucking meat. Oh, that's so good. I should have ended the podcast there. That was a good ending. Hang on, can you say that again with more gusto?
What? If any of you dare downvote my fucking page, you're meat.
Alright, that one wasn't as good of delivery. But, for real, jokes aside, thank you guys for sticking with us. This has been awesome. Here's to 67 more episodes, yeah? It feels weird to have, like, our big moment on episode 67. Isn't that really, like, a nice number?
But the true number of the beast is 67.
Alright, guys. And remember, we do more than just SCP stuff. If you want to hear more
they
wacky
don't
adventures...
care.
Oh, you're right. Okay. I was going to say read April Space, but I guess...
Hold on. Yes. Read April Space. And watch our gaming videos.
Yeah,
well,
we game so good.
Who knows what our next game will be? I've actually got a suggestion for Darnell later on. Who knows if he'll say... I don't know if he'll say yes, so I won't do it here.
Flushed?
This is the SCP podcast. Bye!